The past 3 months have been a whirlwind for the big breakfast industry. Baker Mills and Kodiak Cake LLC were both hit with a class action lawsuit on April 13, 2021. 4 other major granola breakfast companies will be hit with similar class action lawsuits over the next several months. Purely Elizabeth on May 28th, Kind LLC on June 11th, and Nature's Path on July 2nd. And they're all being sued for the same reason: misleading marketing with the sole purpose of robbing consumers like you and I. Specifically, they're all being sued for overstating the amount of proteins their products contain. I should mention that all of the claims in this video are just what the numerous lawsuits are alleging against these granola producers. Since the suits were only just filed, nothing has actually been proven in a court of law just yet. Innocent until proven guilty and all of that. Anyway, the average human adult needs 8 grams of protein per 20 pounds of weight, which equates to around 50 grams of protein every single day. Most of that 50 grams of protein are found in the meat, legumes, and nuts people will eat for lunch and dinner, but many people subsidize their protein intake with granola snacks throughout the day. Those are the people who are most impacted by the situation at hand. Because, as all of these lawsuits allege, many of the granola products being sold at grocery stores are skimping out on the protein, such as Kodiak Cakes, which claims 14 grams of protein per serving, when in actuality they just have 11.5 grams, which is 17% less than what's claimed. But as you'll see later on in this video, the problem is actually much worse. You see this nutrition label? This is granola from Kind LLC claiming to have 5 grams of protein per serving. This is a lie. Allegedly. The granola company's justifications for their deceptive nutrition labels are twofold. The first is that they've also included the protein someone who adds milk to their granola would be consuming, such as Nature's Path, who claims 10 grams of protein per serving despite only having 6, a deficit of 40% of the advertised nutritional value. But this is an awfully weak argument for several reasons. For one, people don't really add milk to their granola bars, like this one from Kodiak Cakes, so tacking on some additional protein per serving to count for a milk drink with the granola bar is a pretty unethical marketing move. It would be like if I sold a box of chocolate chip cookies and advertised them as containing 100% of the recommended daily value of vitamin C. Because if you ate a large orange with the cookies, you would in fact be getting 100% of your daily required vitamin C intake. Let's be real. Add protein intake from milk can only really be argued for cereal, despite the fact that the granola companies are using the same misleading marketing in their granola bars. But even for cereal, it isn't really much of a defense, because if you buy a box of cereal from a legitimate company who isn't actively trying to deceive you, you'll see that it will have a column for the nutritional value of just a cereal and a completely separate column for the nutritional value of the cereal plus milk. In this case, half a cup of skim milk per serving of cereal. See, if this really was an innocent mistake from Kodiak Cakes, Kind LLC, Nature's Path, and they honest to God just assumed that we would be dunking their granola into a tall glass of milk like an Oreo, then they would have had 2 nutritional value columns. One for the granola, and the other for the granola plus the milk. Now admittedly, while a 20% decrease in protein is certainly a lot in terms of proportion, it only really amounts to a couple of grams in each serving of granola, but the protein deficiency per serving is actually much greater than just the 20% less proteins than advertised. This is because the little protein these granola products contain are often from a subpar source. The amino acids within the granola bars are tested, and many of them were found to have used pea and wheat proteins, which, in the words of the lawsuit filed against Kodiak Cakes and Baker Mills, are of low biological value to humans. I'll skip the nitty-gritty complicated science, but only 30 to 40% of pea and wheat protein ingested can actually be absorbed by humans, which makes the Kodiak Cakes claim even worse than what we'd previously thought. Instead of the advertised 14 grams of protein per serving, their product actually just has 11.5 grams of protein per serving. Of those 11.5 grams, around 65% are completely worthless to humans, meaning the originally advertised 14 grams of protein per serving is in actuality only 4 grams of protein per serving. a deficit of 71.25% less than the stated nutritional value. You can even see on this Kodiak Cakes box that they have wheat protein isolate as a third most used ingredient for the granola bars after cane sugar, and pea protein is ranked number 5. If you want to learn more about the difference in absorptions, then look up PDCAAS. It stands for Protein Digestibility Corrected Amino Acid Score, and is a measurement of how compatible the proteins from specific food groups are to human digestion. Kind LLC has similarly taken advantage of both of these tricks. The lawsuit alleges that Kind LLC's cereal's protein claims can be as much as 20% under the stated value in its nutritional label. On top of that, many of their proteins come from oats, of which approximately 50%, give or take, is inaccessible to humans. All of this raises the question: if companies are lying about the amount of protein their granola contains, then what else might they be lying about? How can we trust any company's claims about any of their products if they might all just be lies?